Good afternoon, parents and teachers. For those of you who do not know me, I am Paul Larkin and I currently teach here at Marymount Primary. I have just been newly appointed as a new Health and Wellbeing Officer at Marymount Primary Catholic School, and in this role, Mr. Lice, the school principal, has asked me to address as a first health issue that this new and exciting committee will discuss, the topic of head lice. As I am sure you all agree, our students' well-being is of primary importance both to you as parents and to us as teachers. In addition, the health of our students contributes to the overall health of our school and wider community. Before discussing our whole-of-school approach to this health issue, I would first like to present some health information regarding head lice, discuss with you some possible misconceptions regarding head lice, and then explore with you why our policy is of relevance to our school and local community. Firstly, let us begin with the basic description of head lice, which I retrieved from the Queensland Health Infections and Parasites Directory and available at access.health.qld.gov. All of these links will be available for you at the end of the presentation. Pediculus capitis, commonly known as head lice, are a tiny wingless egg-laying insect which can be found living on a human scalp. They grow to approximately 3.5 millimeters, which is roughly the size of a sesame seed or pinhead. Head lice live on the human scalp and can survive by sucking small amounts of blood, much like a mosquito, from the human scalp. Head lice are coloured grey before feeding and a reddish-brown colouring after feeding. They produce live eggs, which are sometimes referred to as nits, and can be found glued to hair shafts approximately 1.5 centimeters from the scalp. The live eggs then hatch approximately 7 to 10 days later as young lice nymphs. The life cycle continues as they become mature lice and begin laying eggs of their own. Adult male nymphs are much larger than female nymphs. Once female nymphs mature, they can then lay up to 8 eggs themselves each day. As you can see in image 1, this is a close-up of a fully grown head louse. Although the facts regarding head lice are well known in the health community, there are some common misconceptions prevalent in the non-medical community, primarily in relation to their transmission. Using the whiteboard that I brought with me, I would like you to share some of your thoughts regarding how head lice are transferred from one human host to another. Following this activity, I will address some of the misconceptions and share what Queensland Health indicates regarding head lice transmission. I will now give you a few moments to write down your thoughts. Now that you have had time to consider head lice transmission, here is what Queensland Health indicates. Head lice do not jump or fly. They are spread mainly by direct head-to-head contact. They use their strong claws and move by swinging from hair to hair. This can occur when children play, cuddle, or work closely together. Few head lice can be found on combs and hairbrushing products or pillowcases. However, it is important to note that the transmission from these items can occur if the item has been used within the 24-hour window period, following the use by an infested person. This window period is due to the fact that lice can only survive a day away from the human host, as they need to feed every 6 hours or so on human blood to replenish their water supply. If the lice does not feed, they will die of dehydration. Head lice are a parasite that needs a human host to complete their life cycle. This means that they do not live or breed on animals, bedding furniture, carpets, clothes, or soft toys. The most important point is that anyone can get head lice. They affect all socio-economic groups and are not a sign of poor hygiene. They also have no preference for ethnic background, hairstyle, hair colour or age. Which leads to my next point, the relevance of this health issue to our school and local community. Now that we have discussed a basic description of this parasite, let us look at the relevance of this to our school and local community. Stephen Baker, a professor at the University of Queensland, School of Chemistry and Molecular Bioscience, is an international expert on the evolution, control, biology and genetics of head lice. He suggests in an article on UQ News that about 15 to 30% of primary school aged children get affected at least once each year, and that it is often the most common infectious agent in primary school children in Australia, after the common cold. Baker sympathises with parents, suggesting that head lice are a real challenge for parents, and parents can take heart that getting rid of head lice is difficult but possible. Professor Baker has also made contact with parents, as he suggests that many parents tell me they spend $100 to $200 before they find a solution that works for their family. Given this information, the school finds it necessary to address this health issue, as it is likely to affect the school's students, their families and staff members. Our school's plan. Detection of adult lice or nymphs on the scalp is the best way to determine if head lice are present. Although most people with head lice will not develop an itch, a small number of people will develop an itch due to an allergic reaction caused by the saliva of the louse. This is a name given to an individual organism. The scratching can lead to secondary bacterial infections on the scalp and can lead to swelling of lymph nodes in the neck due to this infection. The policy on head lice that Marymount adopts links to the points identified by both Queensland Health and Education Queensland regarding treatment and prevention. In addition, Marymount recognises its responsibility of minimising the risk to school community members, staff and students of being affected by head lice while at school, and believes that parents too have a responsibility for prevention, detection and treatment of head lice among their own children. Marymount has a program which has been adapted from Education Queensland for minimising the presence of head lice at school and managing the head lice incidents. The next slide will contain our school's expectations, which are available on the school's website. Expectations of schools. To help control head lice, it is reasonable to expect that through the leadership of the principal, we will, at the beginning of the school year, or more frequently if required, distribute the school's procedures and information on the prevention, detection and treatment of head lice to parents and staff, and the need for parent vigilance during periods of heavy lice infestation. Instruct classroom teachers to inform the principal immediately of possible outbreaks in their classrooms. Implement classroom organisation and teaching programs, as well as guidelines for play that minimise head-to-head contact during outbreaks of head lice. Support and encourage parents appropriately through practical advice and a sympathetic attitude to avoid stigmatising families who have difficulty complying with prevention and treatment measures, and request parents not to send children with head lice to school until the day after treatment has commenced. This is in accordance with the recommended minimum exclusion, meaning timeout period, promulgated by Queensland Health to schools. A link to this website is provided in the reference list. Expectations of parents. It is the parents' responsibility to ensure that their children do not attend school with untreated head lice. To achieve this, it is reasonable to expect that parents will regularly inspect their child's scalp and hair to detect the presence of lice or lice eggs, regularly inspect all household members and treat them if required, and notify the school if their child is affected and advise when treatment has begun. Adding to the policy above, it is important to note that the detection of head lice is initially considered as the responsibility of parents, and there is no general expectation that schools will physically check students for the presence of head lice. However, if Mr. Lice suspects the presence of head lice at our school and determines that physically checking students would be an effective part of head lice control strategy, then staff members or other willing adults authorised by him may physically check for head lice only if 1. The parent does not object to the search of head lice, 2. The student agrees to the search, 3. Infectious control guidelines are observed, and 4. Student privacy is respected at all times. Further management of head lice may be included if the school deems necessary. These below points are adopted from Education Queensland and are available on their website, which can be seen in the reference list. Below are some of the suggested management points, which include: inform parents through newsletters or emails, particularly during periods of infestation, to be vigilant in checking their child for head lice or lice eggs and to treat all infected household members. During peak times of infestation, ensure that students are not sharing hats during the day, as this allows for the 24-hour window of lice life cycle to continue. The treatment of head lice, as outlined, is initially the parent's responsibility. Current information on recommended treatment is available from Queensland Health, the local pharmacy or doctor, and could be provided by the school to parents as the providers of treatment, justifying our plan and the current policy. Control of head lice is a community issue, which can be productively addressed only through a cooperative approach between parents, students, and the school community. By facilitating a whole-of-school approach to the management of head lice, the school community and local community will benefit greatly. Furthermore, Marymount Primary School's policy aligns with the Health Promoting Schools model, which can be seen in Figure 1. This was retrieved from the National Framework for Health Promotion. The World Health Organization, WHO, in 1996, in its National Health Promoting Schools Initiative, suggests that a health promoting school is a school that is constantly strengthening its capacity as a healthy setting for living, learning, and working. When we gather for health issue committees like the one we are having now, we are actively organising and promoting initiatives to strengthen our school and local community. This is evident through the school's policy to support the well-being of our students, their families, and our staff in relation to head lice and a range of other health initiatives, e.g. skin cancer, immunisation programs, nut allergies, etc. As seen in our school policy, student privacy regarding the management of head lice is of great significance. Head lice can cause severe anxiety and distress to students and their families, and supporting and encouraging families through this time with appropriate and practical advice is critical. Furthermore, by adopting a sympathetic attitude towards the individual and family, we can avoid any stigmatization and minimize bullying, which could occur and will significantly affect our students' well-being. As mentioned, head lice are a very common problem in schools and other public institutions here in Australia and around the world. While they are not life-threatening and do not spread disease, they do cause significant distress and anxiety for families and schools. As stated earlier, anyone can get head lice. They affect all socioeconomic groups and are not a sign of poor hygiene and do not have preference for ethnic background. Recapping on our school's health initiative on head lice, our plan is designed to maximise the health of our students, minimise any negative consequences associated with head lice, and finally support parents with the treatment of head lice. Our plan may be to revisit this health issue throughout the year if it becomes a problem. Here are the links to health websites and the school policy. They can be found on this slide and the next slide labelled references. Thank you for your time, parents and teachers, and have a good evening.